Have you ever wondered what it's like to be truly alone in the middle of nowhere? Imagine hearing someone's voice begging for help, but you can't see them, can't reach them. What if that voice isn't from someone who's supposed to be alive? Stay with me as I tell you a story that will make you question what's real and what's not. If you enjoy chilling tales like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more spine-tingling stories. The story begins late one evening at a 911 dispatch center in a small, sleepy town surrounded by dense forests. Sarah, a young and dedicated operator, had just started her shift. It was quiet, as it usually was, with the occasional call about minor accidents or lost pets. She'd always loved the quiet nights. They gave her time to think. But this night was different. At around 2:13 a.m., the phone rang. Sarah picked up, her voice calm and professional. 911. What's your emergency? For a moment, there was only static. Then, a man's voice broke through, shaky and frightened. Hello? Can you hear me? Yes, sir. I can hear you. What's the nature of your emergency? The man's breathing was ragged. I'm lost. I'm somewhere in Blackwood Forest. I think something's following me. Sarah's heart quickened. Blackwood Forest was massive and notorious for people getting lost in it. But it wasn't just its size that made it infamous. Locals whispered about strange happenings there. People vanishing without a trace. Inexplicable noise. Lights in the sky. Can you tell me your name, sir? She asked, keeping her voice steady. Tom. My name is Tom. Please, you have to help me. I've been walking for hours, but it's like I'm going in circles. Okay, Tom, I'm going to help you. Can you describe anything around you? Do you see any landmarks? No, he said, his voice trembling. It's just trees. Trees everywhere. But there's this sound. It's like it's coming closer. Sarah leaned forward in her chair, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. What kind of sound, Tom? There was a pause, and then Sarah heard it through the line. A faint, low hum, almost like a deep growl, mixed with static. It sent a shiver down her spine. Did you hear that? Tom whispered. It's been following me for hours. I don't think I'm alone out here. Sarah's fingers typed quickly, trying to trace the call. Stay calm, Tom. I'm trying to locate you. Just keep talking to me. I don't know if I can, he said, his voice cracking. I'm so tired, and it's so dark. It feels like the trees are moving. Sarah froze. Moving? Yeah, Tom whispered. They're closer than they were before. I swear, they're closer. A chill ran through her. She'd heard strange calls before, but this was different. The fear in Tom's voice was raw, genuine. Tom, I need you to focus. Do you have anything with you? A flashlight? A phone? Just my phone, he said. But the battery's dying. The screen keeps flickering. I don't think it'll last much longer. Okay, can you use the light to look around? Maybe find something to guide you. There was a rustling sound, followed by Tom's sharp intake of breath. Oh God, no, 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 no. Sarah's heart pounded. What is it, Tom? What do you see? Eyes, he whispered. There are eyes in the trees. They're watching me. A cold dread settled over Sarah. She glanced at her computer screen. The call's location was still untraceable. Tom, listen to me. Keep moving. Don't stop. I'm going to send help. I don't think I can, he said, his voice barely audible. It's getting closer. You have to try, Sarah urged. Stay on the line with me. Just keep moving. There was a long silence, broken only by Tom's labored breathing and the strange hum that seemed to grow louder. Then he spoke again, his voice trembling. I see something ahead. A light. Maybe it's a house. Good, Sarah said, relief washing over her. Washing over her. Go toward the light. Slowly. I'll stay with you. She heard Tom's footsteps crunching through the underbrush. The hum grew louder, almost deafening, and then it stopped. The sudden silence was worse. Tom, are you still there? Yeah, he whispered. I'm almost there. Then Sarah heard something that made her blood run cold. A low, guttural growl, followed by a sharp scream. The line went dead. "Tom? Tom!" Sarah shouted, but there was no response. Her hands trembled as she tried to redial the number. Nothing. She alerted the local authorities and gave them all the details she had. A search team was sent into Blackwood Forest, but they found no trace of Tom. No footprints. No sign of a struggle. Nothing. The days turned into weeks, and Sarah couldn't shake the call from her mind. She started having nightmares about the hum, the eyes, the growl. She tried to convince herself it was just another strange call, that Tom had probably found his way out and didn't bother to report back. But deep down, she knew that wasn't true. Then, one night, weeks after the call, Sarah was alone in the dispatch center when the phone rang. She hesitated before answering. 911. "What's your emergency?" Static filled the line, followed by a familiar voice. "Hello? Can you hear me?" Sarah's blood turned to ice. It was Tom. "Tom," she said, her voice shaking. "Where are you?" "I'm lost," he said, just as he had before. "I'm somewhere in Blackwood Forest. I think something's following me." "Tom, we've been looking for you," she said, trying to stay calm. "Where have you been?" "I don't know," he said. "It's dark. So dark." "Tom, listen to me," she said. "We're going to find you. Just stay on the line." But then she heard it again. The hum, the growl, and Tom's terrified scream. The line went dead. Sarah stared at the phone, her heart racing. She knew what she had to do. She couldn't just sit there and do nothing. Against all protocol, she decided to go to Blackwood Forest herself. She needed answers. Armed with a flashlight and a sense of determination, Sarah drove to the forest's edge. The trees loomed like dark giants, their branches twisting like skeletal hands. She stepped into the forest, her flashlight casting long, eerie shadows. "Tom," she called out. Her voice echoed back to her. The air was heavy, almost suffocating. She walked deeper into the woods, her ears straining for any sound. Then she heard it, the hum. It was faint at first, but it grew louder with each step. Her flashlight flickered, and she felt a wave of nausea wash over her. "Is anyone there?" she called. The hum turned into a growl, and Sarah's flashlight went out completely. She was plunged into darkness. Panic set in as she fumbled with the flashlight, trying to get it to work. And then she saw them, the eyes, dozens of them, glowing in the darkness, watching her. She backed away, her breath coming in short gasps. "Who's there?" she demanded, her voice trembling. A voice answered, but it wasn't Tom's. It was deep, guttural, and filled with malice. "You shouldn't have come here." Sarah turned and ran, the hum and growl chasing her through the trees. She didn't stop until she was back at her car, her hands shaking as she fumbled with the keys. She sped away, tears streaming down her face. She never spoke about what happened that night. Tom was never found, and the call stopped. But Sarah knew one thing for certain. Some voices are meant to be left unheard, and some places should never be entered. Have you ever heard a voice you couldn't explain, or felt like something was watching you in the dark? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that will keep you up at night.